Hi there, this is Alex. So recently I've been wanting to learn how golf works and found out that the Masters is going on right now. And going down my golf rabbit hole, I ended up learning that the Masters has a famous pimento cheese sandwich at their concession stand that has been $1.50 for years and years and years, and is supposed to be some sort of like beloved secret recipe. So there's many copycat recipes for the Masters online, but the most compelling one I found was from a website called intentionalhospitality.com, which I will link in the description, but she actually uses the ingredient list from the sandwich bag that the sandwich comes in at the Masters. So she gives her reasoning for what ingredients are in it. I don't think there's any blue cheese in it. I don't think there's any Dijon. Us in the South, we're kind of purist about our pimento cheese. I mean, it's humble, it's cheap, it's supposed to be delicious and fattening, and I just don't think any bougie ingredients are in it. So I'm going with Intentional Hospitality's recipe, and we'll see how it tastes. So if you're not familiar with pimento cheese, it sort of originated in the South. It's a cheese spread that's often made with mayonnaise, pimento peppers, spices, sometimes green cheese, and it is used normally in sandwiches or as a dip with some good crackers, some celery, whatever you want to put it on. My favorite little redneck snack growing up was pimento cheese wrapped up in a tortilla. It was so good. You can buy pimento cheese at a lot of grocery stores nowadays. This is the best pimento cheese I've ever found, this palmetto cheese. It is out of Pawleys Island, South Carolina. It has lots of delicious sharp cheddar. There's a jalapeno version, which is really good. Definitely recommend picking this up if you can find it. But there's also a lower end one that I love. This is Stan's out of here in North Carolina. It is American cheese and mayonnaise basically, and it is so processed and so delicious. And if you just need that gloop in your life, try out Stan's if you can find it. But what a lot of Southerners will do is make their own batches based on their family's preference. I'm a mayonnaise girl normally, but we make it a lot for get-togethers, cookouts. We normally bring a big batch to the beach and eat on it. If you've had a hot day on the beach and you go up and you dip a Triscuit in some pimento cheese, it really hits the spot. It's so good. But these are the ingredients that I'm making this Masters pimento cheese with, and I will put the full recipe in the description. But first we went in with a half block of cream cheese, which is 4 ounces. Now we're going in with 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese, sharp cheddar cheese. I worked as a cheesemonger at a cheese shop and worked with some people who had worked with cheese for years and years and years, and they all said that the Cracker Barrel sharp cheddar is like the best store-bought prepackaged cheese that you can buy. Cabot and Tillamook are also really delicious, but I went with Cracker Barrel this time because it's just got that sharp tang you want. So anyway, you got to shred it yourself because the pre-shredded has the decaking agent on it, and you don't want any of that. You just want the pure, delicious cheese. And for this copycat recipe, she recommends using a second cheese, a Monterey Jack, which I use Cabot brand because it is also some of the best cheese you can find at a regular old grocery store. But only 1 cup of this Monterey Jack, so half a block shredded. For my own personal recipe though, I think I would stick with just pure sharp cheddar cheese. I really like the sharp flavor of it. Anyway, all that cheese going in. Trying not to make a huge mess, but it's kind of inevitable. Now this is an important part. If you're in the South, you know about Duke's. Duke's is the only right mayonnaise. This is the correct mayonnaise to use. They do not say what kind of mayonnaise is in the Masters, but I suspect it is Duke's. Blue Plate is another acceptable brand. But there's just nothing creamier and tangier than Duke's mayonnaise. If you can find it, I definitely recommend it. We are very passionate about our Duke's here. It really does make a difference in the texture and the taste of things like this. And it's just a good mayonnaise for sandwiches. Definitely recommend it. Also here, she recommended using a teaspoon, I think I use a little bit more than a teaspoon, of some very finely diced onion. You should use yellow or sweet onion here, Vidalia onion. You definitely want to dice it very, very, very tiny because pimento cheese needs to be creamy. There shouldn't be any crunch in your pimento cheese. Into the bowl. Now here's a 4-ounce jar of drained pimento peppers, and they're already diced, but I'm just giving it a little bit more of a dice to make sure that they're little tiny pieces. It's more likely that my kids will eat it if the pieces are tiny. Now we're going in with a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic and a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Normally I would measure with my heart here, but I'm trying to stick with the recipe. She also adds salt and black pepper to taste. Now you gotta mix it up. You gotta use some elbow grease here. This is where you're burning off some of the calories you're gonna be consuming when you eat this pimento cheese. It does take a while, but having that softened cream cheese makes it a little bit easier. Another thing that can make it a little bit easier to mix and a little bit more gloopy, if you like it that way, is to add a little bit of the pimento juice that's in the little jar before draining it. That definitely helps. So now we've got our completed mixed pimento cheese, and the final step is your master's sandwich is going to use some good soft cheapo white bread. Something about the sugar that they add to this white bread sort of complements the taste of pimento cheese. If you're going to eat a pimento cheese sandwich, you better save your sprouted, seeded sourdough bread for a different one, because this really just requires some Wonder Bread or some Bimbo in this case. And you are done. This recipe turned out pretty good. I mean, it's a very basic, standard pimento cheese recipe. If you've never had pimento cheese before, I would definitely recommend trying this out and see if you like it. And then if you do like it, you can add your own pizzazz to it and go on a lifelong journey of enjoying all the different types of pimento cheese that exist in the world today. It's a beautiful thing. It's a humble and delicious thing. Definitely recommend it. But we're not quite done here. I also learned in my research that the Masters has a Georgia peach ice cream sandwich, which just sounded amazing. My kids were super excited about it. So we used it as an excuse to make some sugar cookies, which if you've had 2 toddlers help you bake, it can be frustrating, but they enjoy it and it takes a little longer, but you just gotta do it sometimes and it's fun. So they helped mix, and basically this is, as far as I know, and full disclaimer, I have never been to the Masters. I am just recently learning what the Masters is. I have never had the Masters pimento cheese sandwich. I've never had this ice cream sandwich. So I could be 200% wrong about all of this. It could be nothing like the real thing. But it's just fun to make and try out some new traditions. But this is supposedly just sugar cookies with peach ice cream in the middle, which you just can't go wrong. So we made that, and it turned out, I'm not gonna lie, this was amazing. My stomach was hurting because I'm not used to eating like this, but oh my god, it was so worth it. It was delicious. But yeah, thank you for watching our little video recipe. And if you have any family pimento cheese recipes that you think are really, really good, I would love to hear them. Please feel free to share. I'm always looking for new pimento cheese recipes. Man, these cookies turned out good. You just can't beat a good sugar cookie with a nice warm sugar cookie with some nice cold ice cream. Oh man, it was yummy. Anyway, I will hopefully make some more of these cooking videos and catch you in the next one. Bye!